morning. So we gather once more. It's Sunday and we energize. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. Your presence and your interest is my inspiration, and I'm blessed to share my passion with you. Pass I on. Passion, I pass I on by what I share and how I share myself. That is our passion. We're passing ourselves on in terms of what we share. May this morning and what I pass on be so significant that you will feel the impact in your life immediately. So we give permission always. I give myself permission to receive my highest good. Give myself permission to be pleasantly surprised. I give myself permission to receive a wonderful message for my life for the coming weeks. And I give Charlotte permission to support me today, to receive all these wonderful things that is available for me. So I've been guided to share with you today the word stop. To review, just an overall review of what needs to stop in our lives. We say the buck stops here. We do one-stop shopping. But stop, think and correct. But for me, I think that we're now living in times where we need to stop, consider and correct. Stop, consider and correct. It is a good idea to develop and formulate your own stop formula so that you can have that stop formula which is going to support you. Why a stop formula? Because your mind operates mostly on runaway mode. There's none of our minds that really knows how to do things slowly, because the mind is thinking in nanoseconds and even beyond that. Because if we think what the mind currently is running in this organism, which is your body, it's running trillions of cells. It's running your heart, it's running your pulse, it's running your it's running every single activity that's happening from there to the tips of your toes. So imagine how fast and how busy that mind is. So we have a mind that operates mostly on what we would term runaway mode. It's just woof. And what does that mean for us? It means that we tend to overthink and analyze and forcing ourselves to understand and wanting to, especially nowadays, wanting to predict the future. You're even forcing your mind to become a prophet, to know the future. Secure the future for me. Secure the future for me. We ask this of our own mind constantly. This is what happens when you worry. When you worry, you're asking the mind to secure the future for you, because what you worry about, you now want the mind to give you some form of guarantee and proof that it's going to be okay. So you think and think and think and think and think. I want to know. Tell me, tell me, tell me. And the mind doesn't really know, because it wants to serve you. It's what it is designed to do. It serves this entire organism all of the time. So your mind doesn't know what to do. So you cannot predict the unknown, but you can trust the process, and you can trust your own entitlement in that process. And you are entitled because you voted for it, you worked for it, you earned it, you chose it. It's yours. But the mind, the worry, and just look, in the last 24 hours, in the last 48 hours, how many times you worried about something? Isn't it? Is it going to be okay? Isn't it? And that incessantness of. So today we want to review some stops. We need to look at what needs to stop. So, without further ado, let me just check. I've got very white things there. Stop thinking that you're not ready. Nobody ever feels 100% ready. When an opportunity arises, you're not necessarily going to feel ready. Stop thinking that you're not ready, because most great opportunities in life force us to grow beyond our comfort zones. Beyond, what is a comfort zone? A comfort zone is a place where you know everything. A comfort zone is a place where there's absolutely no unknown for you. That's why it's comfortable. There's no questions, everything is just. Life forces you to grow beyond those comfort zones. Which means when you think that you're not ready, stop looking to feel comfortable. When you're going to do great things, there's not much comfort in that, because you're standing on center stage. You're gonna feel stage fright. But that's not fear, that's excitement. That's excitement to be able to show what you're capable of. So stop thinking that you're not ready. Stop thinking that this and this and this and this must still happen. If I look on my own life and I see how many times I stopped myself because I thought that I wasn't ready. And when I look at it now, I was more than ready. I was more than capable. I was more than able. But I never trusted myself. Stop getting involved in relationships for the wrong reasons. And I don't advocate right and wrong. But in this case, I'm telling you, stop getting involved in relationships for the wrong reasons. Relationships must be chosen wisely now in the times that we're living in. Relationships must be chosen wisely. I'm not even going to chase the rabbit about relatedness. That's a discussion for another day, because by now we should have shifted from relationship into relatedness. But for the purpose of this platform, I'll stay with relationship. Relationships must be chosen wisely. It's better to be alone than in bad company. There's no need to rush. If something is meant to be, it will happen. In the best time, with the best person, for the best reason. It's not about falling in love with someone. It's about finding a wonderful mirror and a friend that you can spend the rest of your life with. This thing about falling in love and having to have all these butterflies and that's not what a relationship is all about. That's why these ships mostly sink. These relationships, they sink. But when you go into relatedness, then you stop getting into a situation with another person for reasons that is not going to serve you. Stop rejecting new relationships just because old ones didn't work. You know how many people say, especially ones that's had a big disappointment. There was a big disappointment and perhaps, they were in relationship with someone that did something really nasty and hurt them badly. And now they'll say, I'll never love again. I'll never be happy again. I can never find happiness again. And what does that mean? That means that which is yours by your birthright has now been taken by that person who chose to treat you wrong and be wrong and do things that didn't work. That's all that happened. You say it's wrong, but in actual fact, it just didn't work. Stop rejecting new relationships just because old ones didn't work. In life, you'll realize that there's a purpose for everyone that you meet. And you read this all the time in social media. Some will test you, and some will use you, and some will teach you. There's a lot of people out there that use people. We refer to them as takers. There's a lot of people there that constantly take, but they have almost no availability to give something in return. And that's okay. That's how they sow. And they are going to reap, because life is watching all of us at the moment. There's no exception. I was just reading in this book before I started that. It's an old book, and it's got such beautiful writings in it. It's called The Lighted Path, A Journey of Transformation and Transcendence. I have such beautiful books in my collection, and I was just reading some things in this. The last chapter is Who Will Make It to the New World? And it was a very interesting piece that I read. Just to wait for everyone to start the proceedings. And there are people that are doing things that it's not in congruence with your own standards and values. But then it's also true that there was once a time before you embarked on your journey, on sitting with me on a Sunday morning when you can be sleeping late or you can be doing other things, coming to sit here and to listen to the opportunities, to the life giving, to the wonder of knowing yourself, of being able to make these calls when things need to stop. But don't reject present opportunities based on what happened to you previously. Because every opportunity, every moment is new. You'll never live the same thing twice. So it's very unfair to say to yourself, I'll never love again, or I'll never do that again. Stop rejecting new relationships just because old ones didn't work. I'm not asking you to be careless, and I'm not asking you to be silly and to do irresponsible things by saying that you must give opportunity to things to be new and fresh. Use your discernment, of course, but don't just dismiss outright. Stop that, because it never happens the way you think, and things never ever happen the same twice. Not even the same situation. There's always a difference. So stop wanting to compete against everyone else. You also compete with yourself, because we really do think that competing is the only way that we can prove ourselves. And we really do think that competing is what's going to make us look good when we can compete well. And competing means that what you're doing must show someone else up as not being as good. That's all that competing means. Competing means is I'm going to play, or I'm going to be better than you. So you will be the loser and I will be the winner. It's a wonderful approach, and it does get people to deliver their best. But I'm sure that we can actually stop this level of competition in here with ourselves and also with everyone that we encounter. You will also see in families how family members compete with each other, and how the sibling rivalry is basically just competition. We see it in nature as well, in the nest. Don't worry about what others are doing better than you. Because if you're going to constantly worry about what others are doing better than you, whether they have a bigger house, whether they have more degrees, whether they earn more money, whether they have a better job, don't worry about what others are doing better than you. Concentrate on being better than what you were yesterday, so that you know that you are growing, so that you feel confident in the fact that you are contributing more, because that's all that what it means to actually beat your own records. When you can beat your own records, it means that you are being more, that you are growing and you are blossoming into being more of you, which means that when you are with me, I can benefit from that growth because you're going to share it with me anyway. Growth cannot stop being shared. It's visible, it's beautiful, it's amazing to share it. Growth is a beautiful thing to share. It doesn't compete, it grows. And it's wonderful to be in the space of growth because it's inspiring. It doesn't, you don't have to compete, and fight your way to the front. You're only going to find a big black scorpion there. A poisonous one. And once you become intoxicated by that poison of competing, you're going to be competing your whole life away and you won't be able to enjoy anything. Because if there's not competition in it, then you're going to become bored. If there isn't someone to beat, if there isn't a destination that you have to beat somehow. Success is something between you and you. Success is not something that you find out in life. That's vanity. And that's a false way of determining your own worth. Success is between you and yourself only. Because at night you have to put your head on your pillow. And a clear conscience is a very good pillow. Stop being jealous of others. Jealousy is at the heart of counting someone else's blessings instead of your own. Just ask yourself, what's something that you have that everybody else wants? It's not, jealousy is normally the fear that something that belongs to you is going to be stolen or taken away from you against your will. And when that happens, you're going to be very unhappy. So jealousy basically makes you look forward to a very unhappy time. A time when you're going to feel cheated and robbed and even betrayed, rejected, horrible things. Jealousy makes you worry about horrible things that's waiting for you in your future. And it's not true. Why should horrible things wait for you in your future? Stop being jealous of others. Stop being jealous. Because there's nothing that you can lose. And even if that does leave your life for whatever reason, God forbid, cancel that thought. If that leaves your life for whatever reason, you get through it. Your life is not attached to that thing or that person or that situation because you are you're an autonomous being. You are self-sufficient in yourself. You don't need to be jealous of something that's going to be taken away from you, that's now going to mean that you are going to be less and that you're going to be less than who you are now. It's not necessary. What is there that you have that everybody else wants? The fact that you live a life that you're satisfied with. Your life is pleasing. Not because you want to make others jealous of your life, or they must envy you, or they must think, you're an influencer. What is an influencer other than a person that makes others envious and jealous of their life? Look at my big car. Look at all the good life that I have. Why would you want people to see that, especially if it's people that can't afford that? When you know yourself, you can be happy for those people, because that's how I go on holiday. I look at the photos of people going on holiday and I'm there. It's just so beautiful. Nature allows you to be there instantaneously. You just need to connect with the feeling of the love of Mother Earth, and you'll transport yourself there instantaneously. Stop complaining and feeling sorry for yourself. Huh? Life's curveballs are thrown for a reason, and really no one is exempt. There's no exclusivity in having a lot of shit to deal with. To shift your path in a direction that is meant for you. That's why you get obstacles and curveballs, so that you can change direction, so that you can discontinue, because change is discontinue, that you can stop doing the things. What a beautiful word for stop, discontinue, so that you can create real change, change that's going to serve your life. And it's so simple. It's so easy. Shift your path in a direction that is meant for you, that you can feel is meaningful. And please be aware of this mind, this mindfulness. You don't want your mind to be full. You want your life to be meaningful, not mindful. The mind is full enough already. Don't still encourage it to become more full, please. Just be aware of what you're saying. You may not see or understand everything the moment it happens. It's not meant for you to understand it. It's meant for you to experience it. You may not see or understand everything the moment it happens, and it may be tough. But reflect back on those, on how many times such incidents has led you to a better place. It's led you to a better place, to a better person, to a better state of mind, to better situation, to better life conditions. How many times? You can't even count it, so many. Curveballs are not always there to punish you. Curveballs are there because of your own stubborn refusal to get your ass out of your comfort zone and move along. Stop complaining and feeling sorry for yourself when that happens. And please, I am certainly not judging you by sharing this with you. I'm sharing this with you because it's what I do. And I see how much I suffer because of that. So smile. Let everyone know that today you are a lot stronger than what you were yesterday. That's what counts. And you surely will be in the future continuing as well. But right now you're very strong already. Why? Because you're never going to be given more than you can handle. Can you not be strong in the face of that? And whatever you're given, whatever curveballs come, you always have support to get through it. And it doesn't happen the way you think, but you always get support to get through it. Your life is proof. Yeah, you're sitting with me. You got through all of those things. And some of us are given a lot to handle. Not just at the level of losing a loved one when they pass over, or the shock of a sudden death, because there's a lot of people that die in unnatural situations and cancel their thought, but it's a reality. And the shock of things, but also to handle a lot of responsibilities in your life every day, things that other people can't see. I asked, just recently, I asked the people that I call them my angel children, because that's how they are for me, my angel children in my school. I asked them to do an exercise and to see, because very few people also see where all of your time and your energy goes, and how much energy you spend on things for them, for their benefit, even if it's at the level of thinking and encouraging them with your thinking. That counts as well. But stop complaining and feeling sorry for yourself. There's no need. You have a wonderful life. Smile. Let everyone know that your life is good. Let them see it when they see you. Wow, your life is good. I can see it. It's in your aura. It's in your presence, in your face. Next one, stop holding grudges. Look how many grudges you hold against yourself. Oh, you didn't manage to do that, and oh, you didn't get that done, and oh, you saw this, and recently I started having a grudge against myself for being so ill. I just couldn't get better. It was literally since August last year. I've never experienced such a thing in my life, and that related to feeling fluish. It's unheard of. I was having a grudge against the flu. Don't live your life with hate in your heart, because if you have a grudge, you hate something. And I did. I hated being sick, because some days I didn't know even how I was going to get out of my bed. There are things that you can hate easily, but don't live with hate in your heart. You end up hurting yourself more than whatever it is that you hate. And forgiveness is not saying, what you did to me is okay, and or the situation is okay. Accepting something doesn't make it okay. Forgiving something doesn't make it okay. What is it that you're giving that situation when you say, I'm forgiving? Forgiving what? What? Because you need to give it something in order for it to heal and become whole and complete if it's broken. But stop holding grudges because you didn't lose 10 kilos on that last diet last year. And now you have this grudge against your body because your body didn't lose the weight. Your body doesn't want to lose anything. Let your body change its shape, because you are exercising and you are doing things that's going to support your body. Don't expect your body to do it on its own. It needs you. Stop holding grudges. And you hold a lot of grudges against your body for many different reasons. Oh, because you don't have nice hair, and my eyelashes are too short, and this, I've got all these wrinkles on my face, and lots of grudges. Just your body. We're not even going out into the world yet. Never mind about your living conditions, and oh, this is too short, and that must get painted, and this must be this, and that must change, and I must get a place of my own, and grudges. Forgiveness is not saying what you did to me is okay. It is saying, I'm not going to let what happened ruin my sense of worth and satisfaction forever. I'm taking my power back from what happened. What am I giving that situation? I'm actually giving it my own absence. I'm not going to play there anymore. What for? I've got nothing to give that situation. Forgiveness, what must I give it? No, I don't want to give it anything. Thank you. I'm accepting that it happened and I'm moving on. It's my past. It's history. I'm no longer ruled by it. And there's no grudge. There's no karma that needs to come and be paid with that person in the next life. Thank you very much. Because we have eternal life. And we do encounter each other over and over again. It's written in all holy scriptures, no proof needed. We do meet each other again and again to complete things, because we carried so many grudges and we hated things so much. And I hate the way that you've become this decrepit, incapable person. It's easy to say that. And it doesn't mean that that person is physically disabled. It means that they're just not handling life very well. You're going to see that more and more, and people are going to buckle under the pressure if they are not on a spiritual journey, and if they are not committed and they don't make an effort to fill their cup. They are going to fall by the wayside. I've been telling you this for a long time. It's not a pretty picture. It's like going deeper and deeper underwater without protection. The water down at the bottom is going to completely eliminate your body. The pressure is too much. That's what's happening to their brain. They can't handle the pressure of the external world. It's too much. My son was 27 when he checked out. He couldn't handle it. This place was too harsh. Stop holding grudges for the things that you are experiencing that you don't understand. And I'm not saying that you must make a doormat of yourself and tolerate it. I'm saying have discernment. Because if you're going to make a judgment, you are incurring karma. It's going to happen to you. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what it is that I have a judgment about. I am going to do the same deed, or I'm going to experience it, doing it myself to someone within a very short space of time when it's a judgment. And sometimes it's very embarrassing. I judged one of the girls falling asleep in our Jung psychology class, and she was physically sleeping, snoring on the you could see she was falling asleep, and it happened to me. I fell asleep in the class on screen, and I apologized. No one even saw it, but I apologized because it's my truth. And I know that I wasn't popular for speaking up about it, but many people sleep in the class. But I excused myself and I said I apologize, and I realized why I did it. I shared the lesson with them. Whether they got it or not, it's not important to me. But I said I judged this person in the class, and because of my judgment, I did the same. Because life will test me. If you can judge that, what happens when the same happens to you and you do the same? What will you do? How will you handle that? Because you're judging it. For you, it's wrong. You have a grudge about it. Displeased, upset, unhappy. You can call it whatever you like. It's a fucking grudge. And it's very hard to live life where you constantly need to please people so that they won't have any grudges. We all have grudges, but we won't call it that because a grudge is a very hectic word. Look at the truth. Look at the energy that you were working with, and then you'll see that it's the truth. It's not a judgment. A grudge is a real thing, and it affects your life, and you don't see it because you're in denial. No, it's not a grudge. I don't grudge. Huh? Now we all do. Unfortunately, it's how it works here. The answer is let go and find peace and liberate yourself. And remember, forgiveness is not for other people. It's for you. It's what you are giving the situation so that you can be free of it. But it's not going to happen unless you give it something. Because you can never expect to receive anything in life unless you've given something first. And when you're getting things and you haven't given first, then you are in trouble, because then you are receiving energy that you haven't contributed to in your life. Just be aware, it's not a judgment, because that energy is going to be removed from your life in another way, somewhere else. And that's the curveballs. Then it comes unexpectedly, and then you're going to have a grudge. Stop letting others bring you down to their level. Refuse to lower your standards to accommodate those who refuse to raise theirs. And you're going to encounter people that's not going to do things by your standards, but it must never be a reason or an excuse for you to lower yours. Because you need to be the example always. That's your human intrinsic need. Don't satisfy your being an example by being a poor me. Because there are people that are examples of a poor me as well. Stop wasting time explaining yourself to others. Your friends don't need it, and your enemies won't believe it anyway. So just do what you know in your heart is true for you. Do what your heart tells you to do. There's such a nice song that sings that as well. Do what your heart tells you to do, because your heart tells you the truth. Your heart's not the same as your mind. Start listening to your heart, and it's going to be a risk, and perhaps you'll make a mistake, but mistakes are inevitable. That mustn't be a reason why you don't risk doing something, especially if you trust your heart. If you trust your heart, I don't think your heart is going to mislead you on purpose for you to suffer or to be injured or to be hurt. Cancel that thought. You know, your heart wants to be good to you. So does your mind, actually, but you overload your mind. Your mind doesn't know whether they're most of the time Arthur or Martha. Stop doing the same things over and over without taking a break. The time to take a deep breath is when you don't have time for it. Isn't that a beautiful thought? The time for you to take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes. I allowed people to experience the length of 20 seconds in my work for the past few years now in various ways. Just 20 seconds. And our 20 seconds can literally feel like 2 minutes, 2 hours, 20 seconds. So stop doing the same things over and over without taking a break. The time to take a deep breath is when you don't have time for it. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll be getting what you're getting. Sometimes you just need to just take a moment and distance yourself. Just go, I'm the observer. The observer cannot become the object. And just observe what's happening there. What energy are you expending? Why are you expending it? What are you expending it for? Just stop and look and correct, so that you don't go into the situation with a grudge and with rage in your heart and resentment, especially when it's repetitive. There's a lot of things in our life that's repetitive. We really do live Groundhog Days most of the time. Every now and again we get the opportunity to change things, but most of the time it's monotonous. And you've got to find reasons by taking a short break, by giving yourself the opportunity to practice what you've learned, to, give yourself the strength to continue again. Just distance yourself for a few moments and see things clearly, because sometimes we realize, you know what? This needs to be done. It's how it works here. I can't escape that. I'm also part of the system that determines this is the way things happen in order to get this result. And there's no way of escaping that. In order to make a cup of coffee requires that you do certain things in order to create the result called coffee. No, you can't say, I'm not going to put in the hot water. It needs hot water for the beans to be able to release its flavor. Or at least the liquid. You know what I mean? So you get the analogy. Stop letting others bring you down to their level. Stop wasting time explaining yourselves to others. Stop doing the same things over and over without taking a break. And stop overlooking the beauty of small moments. These few seconds that you give yourself as a break, that's the time that you're going to notice things that's going to make your life feel worthwhile. Why? Because life itself will communicate with you if you have the eyes to see. Even if you see something that you can feel grateful for, it's a moment well spent. But take a break. And then stop overlooking those small moments. Enjoy the little things. The little things. Because one day you may look back and discover they were the big things. Especially when someone passed on. You think, but those were silly little things that we did. No, those were the best moments that we shared. The best portion of your life will be the small, nameless moments you spend smiling with someone who matters to you. Treat the people in your life that matter to you in a way that shows them that they matter to you. Because in the universe, matter doesn't matter. You don't have the same way relationships happen here on earth happening elsewhere. It only happens that way here. There's a very special set of things, including form and matter, that gives us a very special experience of togetherness. Stop overlooking the beauty of small moments in your life. And certainly stop making things perfect in your thinking. The real world doesn't reward perfectionists. It rewards people who get things done. It rewards effectiveness. Stop making things perfect in your thoughts. And stop making things perfect in your demands. And stop following the path of least resistance. It's an interesting one. Because life is not easy. Especially if you plan on achieving something worthwhile. Don't take the easy way out. Do something extraordinary with your life and your time here on earth. And if you've already achieved extraordinary things for yourself, be satisfied with that. But never stop your growth. Never stop challenging yourself to feel stage fright, to feel this excitement of performance and delivering the greatness that is you. It's a wonderful thing if you can trust it. That ability to give of yourself, to perform. Silly thing, wiggle your bum and do a dance. Silly things. But to do it with such complete giving of just, this is me. And doing it in such a way that is so inspiring and just so invigorating. Just to observe it. Just fills you with, oh, yes, I can do life. Stop following the path of least resistance. And stop acting like everything's fine if it isn't. It's okay to fall apart for a little while. And don't have this grudge against yourself. Stop. Remember we said stop the grudges. Don't have this grudge against yourself when it feels like you're falling apart. just for a little while. Because it's the process. You've got to honor the process. You don't have to stay there for long, but fall apart is going to happen. And you don't always need to pretend to be strong. And there is no need to constantly prove that everything's going well either. Because it's not. Life is a challenge at the moment for all of us. And for many different reasons, but it's a challenge nonetheless. Whatever we choose to make a challenge, that's what's challenging us for sure. But it's okay to fall apart for a little while. You don't always have to pretend to be strong. And there is no need to constantly prove that everything's going well with you. You'll find that when you start saying to someone that something isn't going well with you, I know it happens to me especially, I normally just get a deaf ear if I say something is not going well with me and I share it. I don't get any response. So I've learned that I just share it anyway because a problem shared is a problem halved. But I don't get any response or any reassurance from anywhere. I have to just do it for myself. So that's also taught me something. So you see, there's a gift in everything. But stop acting like everything is fine when it isn't. Because there are going to be days when you're going to feel that the wheels are coming off. And those are the days that we are there to support each other. It doesn't have to be a habit, because if you see someone is just doing it because they can and that gives them attention, they will certainly not get attention from me. And that, my word, is my honor. But it's okay to fall apart for a little while. Be gentle with yourself. That's why you're part of a community that will support you when that happens. You shouldn't be concerned with what other people are thinking. They're going to think it anyway. Cry if you need to. It's healthy to shed tears. And the sooner you do and you release, the sooner you'll be able to smile again. And I'm not saying that you now need to become a crybaby and cry at every opportunity. I'm talking about the times when you grudge and you upset and you judge yourself for crying or for being vulnerable. There's no need. Be fearless about that feeling. It's real. And then you can stop blaming others for your troubles. Because the extent to which you can achieve your dreams depends on the extent to which you take responsibility for your life. I'm going to say that again. The extent to which you can achieve your dreams depends on the extent to which you take responsibility for your life and what you're willing to own. Because if you want to be able to be given a lot of power to share that you and what you represent is powerful, it's healing, it's contributing, it's all the things that you want to be in this world. If you want to be given the freedom to share that power with the world, you must be trustworthy of that power. And when that power is entrusted to you, it is required that you stop doing certain things in your life. Stop, discontinue, stop, before you will be entrusted with such power. It's not my rule. It's how it works here. And you can be powerful beyond measure. But you first need to be able to be trusted with such power. Then you'll get it. And there's been people before us that have shown us that it's possible to get such power. Because it is. And even those people that could do those things told us, but you can do also. You can also do this. All you need to do is to trust yourself and to have faith that who you are is a good person, and who you are is here to give and contribute. That was Gandalf. Isn't it gorgeous? I love hearing him during the day. It's like hearing the Imam pray. Listen, he's telling me now that he wants to eat. So, if you now cry and you allow yourself to shed that tear, it will be a tear that just runs down your cheek perhaps. It's not going to be for days, but because you've allowed it, it's just going to release itself. I see you, I hear you, acknowledge you. It's felt, it's acknowledged, it's seen, it's given a space to be, and then it moves on. The sooner you do, the sooner you'll be able to smile again. And especially if you are in the body of a woman needs to cry. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. And it goes without, I suppose, I hate these letters, PMS, that one, which I don't truly buy into, and that it exists, it's all here. It's all in it. And where the mind goes, the body follows, so which comes first? So stop blaming others for your troubles. The extent to which you can achieve your dreams depends on the extent to which you take responsibility for your life. And when you blame others for what you're going through, you deny responsibility and you give others power over what you do with your life. And denial is the source of core addictions. So when you are in denial, when you deny, it means that you don't even know that you're lying to yourself, because that's all that denial is. It's a lie. But it's a lie that you believe. And that's why you do the same things over and over again, because denial is the source of your core addictions, your core habits, the things that you just can't stop doing. It's because there's something in you that you're busy denying. So you stop blaming others for your troubles, because you're denying responsibility for something that's taking place in you, and you give others power over that part of your life. So, you're basically saying, it's because of you that I'm feeling this. But it's not possible, because you're the one who's choosing to feel. Someone can't do that to you. If you choose not to feel it, they can do whatever they like. It won't bother you. It's the string process. So stop trying to be everything to everyone. When you're everything to everyone, all things to all people. So doing so is impossible. And if you're going to insist to do it, you're going to burn yourself out. But making just one person smile can change the world. Because whatever acts of good that you share, because that's who you are, it's not something that you decide, I'm going to do this today. You're good and you share that. That echoes in eternity. You can't even begin to calculate how that will change the world. Maybe not the whole world, but the world that you live in. The world that you've created by your reality. And stop worrying so much. Worry will not strip tomorrow of its burdens. It will strip today of its joy. And one way to check if something is worth mulling over is to ask yourself this question. Will it matter in 1 year's time? In 3 years? In 5 years? And if not, it's not worth worrying about. If I ask myself the question, will this desk that I'm sitting at now still exist in 100 years' time? It's a very beautiful desk, so perhaps it will. But it's a wooden desk. There's no guarantee that it will. you know. And the other way to ask a question if you worry is, can I do something about it? If I'm worried about it, can I do something to change the fact that I'm worrying? If the answer is yes, then do something. Because that's all that worry is. It tells you that you must do something about the situation. And if you cannot do something about the situation, if it's something that's completely outside of what you can do, dismiss it, park it, let go of it. If you can't do something about it, worrying is not going to secure that. Then you need to find a way to teach your mind to park it. Doesn't mean that you must forget about it. You can set a reminder, but park it for now so that it doesn't occupy your mind. Stop worrying so much and stop directing your mind to look at. This is what worry does. It directs your mind to look at what you don't want to happen. So you're literally taking your mind and you're going, look over there. And now you're forcing yourself to look at what you don't want to happen. And that's what worrying is. You look at what's going to happen over there and you worry about it, and then that's what you keep your mind occupied with. Cancel that thought. I don't know, but if you look at it that way, is it necessary? Because if you don't want it to happen, why should you think about it? Why should you bring it into your reality? If you know that contingency-wise, your ability to handle the situation should it happen is in place. Because life never gives you more than you can handle. And when you get curveballs, you always get through it. Because you get support to get through it. So it works here. So now there's no need to create that level of insecurity for yourself, because you know that should it happen, in the event that of, cancel, you'll handle it. And you should know that of yourself by now, because your own life is proof of it. So if you awake every morning with the thought that something wonderful will happen to you today, I give myself permission to be pleasantly surprised. And you'll be amazed at how your life changes just after that. And you'll find that things just, that's exactly what I thought. Then you start receiving as per your thinking. But only when you can be trusted with it, so that you don't invite things into your life that's going to be horrible by your own thinking or by your thinking for another person. Do you see the reasoning behind all of this? No? And stop spending time with the wrong people. Life is too short to spend time with people who suck the happiness and the joy and the aliveness out of you. Because there are people that do that. And why they do that, I don't know. That's not the purpose of this discussion, but they do. And that's not a judgment. It's real. If someone wants you in their life, they'll make room for you. You shouldn't have to fight for a spot. And never ever insist to be there for someone who consistently overlooks your worth and who consistently overlooks the value that you contribute to their life. And this is the story of life. It's not the people who come and stand by your side when life is great, when you're at your best. It's the ones who stand beside you when you're at your worst. When we spoke earlier, those moments where you fall apart, that they can be there for you and say, you know what, I've got your back. That's what makes life feel worthwhile. So stop spending time with people who suck the life out of you. Never invest yourself to someone who continuously overlooks your worth. Because you must know that in any situation that you encounter, you have worth. You must trust that, because it's true. If you're a good person, wherever you go is going to contribute something to the situation because you were there. That's the level to which you want to live your life, to know that it has worth. You contribute. That's what makes it sought after. It's worth. That's how it works here. And it's really the people who hold your hand and reassure you that you're going to be okay when the wheels come off at times, that you want to keep near, because we need such people in our lives. Stop running from your problems. Face them head on. Life never gives you more than you can handle. There's no person in the world capable of flawlessly handling challenges that are thrown at them. Really. We aren't supposed to be able to instantly just solve problems. It's not how we're made. We're made to get upset, and we're made to feel sad, and we're made to feel hurt, and we're made to feel stumble, and we're made to fall down, and we're made to struggle, and we're made to suffer. But that's the whole purpose of living, to face these problems and to learn and to adapt and to solve them over and over and over. And over a course of time, you don't need to solve them anymore, you just transcend them. This is ultimately what molds you into the person that you've become. And stop lying to yourself. That's denial. Stop lying to yourself. You can lie to anyone else in the world, but you can't lie to yourself. Our lives improve only when we take chances, when we risk. And the first and most difficult chance we take, it's a risk, is to be honest with ourselves. Because you live so many illusions. You live so many lies. You live so many lies, beliefs. Stop lying to yourself. And sometimes to be honest with yourself and to ask and to honor, to really answer and honor questions that are leveled at you, and to answer it honestly is painful. Because you see the truth. Isn't it? So stop putting your own needs on the back burner. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much. Parents, especially mothers, so often just love their children so much and love too much. And they forget that they are special too. Most of the time, the children don't even treat them as if they're special. You know, they become a commodity to the family. So if there was ever a moment to follow your passion, the way you pass eye on your passion, and do something that matters to you, that moment is today. Be done with putting your own needs on the back burner. I'm not talking about arrogance and narcissism. I'm talking about needs. We all have needs. You have two human intrinsic needs, which is the same for all of us. But you have needs and I have needs. And stop being someone you're not. One of the greatest challenges in life is being yourself in a world that is trying to make you someone else. Someone will always be prettier, someone will always be smarter, and someone will always be younger, but they'll never be you. You know, it's Louis Boscolia's little story that I share with you about being a prune, plum, be the succulent plum. You're not a peach, you're not a banana, you're not a pineapple, you're a succulent plum. Some people like plums, some people don't. Doesn't mean that you must become a second-rate banana so that you can be liked. Be a plum. Don't change so people will like you. Be yourself, and the real people will love the real you. And stop holding on to the past. You can start the next chapter of your life today if you stop rereading the old ones all the time. You can turn the page and read a new chapter today. But then you've got to stop rereading the old ones. Stop being scared to make a mistake. We all make mistakes. Really, it's the way we learn here. You make mistakes and then you learn from it. So when you don't learn from your mistakes, that you have a problem. But stop being scared to make a mistake. Is this the right thing? What a stupid question. How do you know? You can only choose what your heart tells you to do. But stop being scared to make a mistake, because doing something and getting it wrong is at least 10 times more productive than doing nothing. Every success has a trail of failures behind it, and every failure is leading towards success. But what is a failure actually? A failure is just something that didn't happen the way you think, the way you expected. It's not a failure, there was a result. It was just a result that you didn't like, that you didn't want. There is no such thing as failure. There's a result. How can there be failure? It's another lie. So you end up regretting the things you did not do far more than the things you did. There's no such thing as failure. Just didn't happen the way you think. Just didn't happen the way you wanted it to. So now you've got to do it again until you get the result that you want. It's really all it is. And stop beating yourself up for old mistakes. You know, we may love the wrong person and cry about the wrong things, but no matter how things go wrong, one thing is for sure, mistakes help us find the person and the things that we are where we're meant to be, where we belong. We all make mistakes. We have struggles and we regret things in our past. Oh, you know, now that I'm getting old, I regret so many things in my past. I accept them, but I just sit and I think how many of the things that I'm sitting with now that's a challenge for me would have been resolved if I had made those choices earlier on. So I do have things that I regret, but I would certainly choose to live my life the same again. I think in the morning when I was younger, when my feet touched the floor, that's how I was born, by the way. I came out feet first. So when my feet touched the floor in the morning, the devil says, oh, fuck, she's up. What's happening next? I certainly play like that in the universe. It's a lot of fun, but it's very, very exhausting, I must say. I need to say stop to that now. So stop berating yourself for old mistakes. You know, we all make mistakes. So every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing for you for a moment that is yet to come. Isn't that amazing? Because it needed to happen exactly like that for the moment yet to come to be there. There's a timeline. Spirit even made me go and buy this. It was so wonderful. I didn't know what it was for, but now I understand. Spirit said, I need to have this to illustrate something. So I thought, I wonder what that is. So it's a piece of costume jewelry that I bought a few days ago. So now I know what it is. Everything is linked, even our past mistakes. They brought us here. So we can't take the past mistakes out of the links. It's part of the links that we live. So it's all chained together at the end of the day. So stop berating yourself for old mistakes. And then, of course, stop buying happiness. Many of the things we desire are so expensive. But the truth, the things that really satisfy us are totally free. Love, laughter, sharing our passion, pass I on. It's free. We can't buy happiness. Stop exclusively looking to others for happiness. I see so many people in my work that have a complete expectation of their partner to make them happy. And when they are unhappy, the entire household is unhappy. Because it's not negotiable. They have to be kept happy. It's a very strange way of living. And when they actually and they take ownership, the changes are miraculous. We said, take ownership earlier. Stop exclusively looking to others for your happiness. If you're not happy with who you are on the inside, you won't be happy in a long-term relationship with anyone either. Doesn't have, I'm without a relationship. Fact, truth is, I'm self-sufficient and I'm handling my life beautifully. So stop looking to others for happiness. You have created stability in your life first. You became self-sufficient. And then you share it with others. But they can't make you happy. No one can. So stop being idle. Don't think too much. We'll create a problem that wasn't there before in the first place. Evaluate situations and take decisive action. If you can do something about it, you got to do something about it. If you can't, drop it. Park it. Let the penny drop. You cannot change what you refuse to confront. You're going to have to confront a few things in your life. Otherwise, you can't change it. Some things need to be confronted to be changed. And I'm not saying that you now need to go turn the ink pot of your boss's head. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stop lying to yourself. That's when you confront. You look at the truth when it doesn't feel so nice. In here. It's not about others. It's not about blaming others first. It's a bit how you start here first. It begins with you. Always. Because you're looking in the mirror. So making any progress involves risk. Period. Full stop. Stop. And the Americans say you can't make it to second base if your foot stays on the first. Isn't that a lovely analogy? So I'm closing the session now by just adding a few thoughts of my own. What do you know needs to stop in your life? I want you to work with 3 things to stop that is not serving you over the next 2 weeks until we meet again for an Energizer at the end of the month. Because I'm really juggling around to be able to give you these Energizers twice a month, but I'm making a concerted effort for it to happen. It isn't just something that I do because I don't have anything to do. It's a privilege to bear the awesome gift of permanent potential. You have permanent potential no matter what you do. I think this was first said by Peanuts, but in another way. Or that little dude in Peanuts, I don't know what his name is. So you can be a prisoner or a pioneer. A prisoner is locked down, so you can be the prisoner of your worry, of your self-doubt, of your zero confidence, of your fear of living. And you so easily become a prisoner in a world of your own making, where you feel trapped and where you feel stuck and where you feel blocked. And, put up your hand now and say stop. And have a good look at what you see. Because let those who have the eyes to see. Have a good look at what you see. And take corrective action. Do what you know is needed. How you imagine and perceive your world is the world you live in. There's no other way. If you're going to look at your life as a struggle and a difficult place, that's what you're going to live. Because you need to be able to be trusted with what you want as power, as your own, standing in your own truth, standing in your own power. It cannot be given to you until you show that you are worthy of it. So you can be a prisoner or a pioneer. You can see the world as open and abundant and let your natural gifts come to the fore and what you love to be and take you where you want to go, because all you need to do is to be who you are. Nothing more than that. And honor the stops needed along the way. It's not a continuous journey. There's lots of stops along the way. No extended journey is undertaken without stops. So welcome the stops. And very often, they're the ones that set you free. The things that you can stop doing. So what is another and very effective word for stop? In closing, we're done. So what is another and very effective word for stop? Of all the time-saving techniques ever developed, perhaps the most effective of all is the frequent use of the word no. I'll say that again. What is another and very effective word for stop? No. Of all the time-saving techniques ever developed, perhaps the most effective of them all is the frequent use of the word no. What is another effective word for stop? No, thank you. Not today. Stop often. Stop your thinking. Reset, refresh, revitalize. Few seconds, 20 seconds. Learn the length of 20 seconds in your life. Because in 20 seconds of crazy abandon, spontaneity, you can express something and find something within yourself which is completely life-changing. But stop often, stop your thinking, reset, refresh, revitalize, and stop the raw, the runawayness of busy thinking. It always gets done in the end. Indecision is nearly always the worst mistake you can make. Remaining with no clear choice leaves you feeling powerless. Stop is an excellent tool. Let it redirect you to be your best. That's my story for today. Thank you so much for coming to sit with me. I had my glasses off the whole time, so I don't know how many of us we were in the end. I think we started with about 2. But thank you for your presence. It was wonderful to prepare the session, and it was wonderful to chat to all of you.